Hi, welcome to the African World Channel. In a historic address broadcasted nationwide, the newly elected president of Senegal, Bassirou Diomaye Faye, unveiled a bold plan that could reshape the nation's economic landscape. With a resolute tone, President Faye announced the forthcoming initiation of an extensive audit targeting the oil, gas, and mining sectors. This monumental announcement, delivered just days after his inauguration, underscores President Faye's unwavering commitment to transparency and accountability in governance. The exploitation of our natural resources, which according to the Constitution belong to the people, will receive particular attention from my government, he said. I will proceed with the disclosure of the effective ownership of extractive companies and with an audit of the mining, oil, and gas sector. He did provide further details, but sought also to reassure investors, who he said were welcome in Senegal. Investor rights will always be protected, as well as the interests of the state and the people, he said. Remember to subscribe to our channel, give the video a thumbs up, and share it with others to help us reach a wider audience. Now let's get back to the video. President Faye's rise to power signifies a pivotal moment for Senegal, achieved through a decisive win over the ruling coalition's candidate in the March election. Bassirou Diomaye Faye was sworn in as Africa's youngest democratically elected president at 44 years old, having won 54% of the votes. His triumph, felt throughout the nation's 18 million-strong populace, instills a tangible optimism and excitement for the transformative change he pledges to deliver. The strong support for President Faye highlights the shared hope for change and the widespread desire for a government that prioritizes the welfare of its citizens above all else. Former President Macky Sall and past administrations engaged in selling the country's resources at undervalued rates. However, newly elected President Bassirou Diomaye Faye aims to renegotiate these terms in favor of Senegal. Here are the key players in Senegal's oil and gas sectors. BP and Cosmos Energy, they are leading the development of Greater Tortue Amiam, Senegal's inaugural liquefied natural gas project. BP operates the project with a 56% stake, while Cosmos Energy holds 27%. Senegal's national oil company Petrosen has a 10% stake, and Mauritania's SMHPM oil company holds 7%. Woodside Energy, this Australian company holds an 82% stake in the Sangomar oil and gas field, located off Senegal's coast. Petrosen owns the remaining share. Total, the French energy giant signed an agreement in 2017 to explore for oil and gas in Senegal's deepwater Rufisque and ultra-deep offshore blocks. Total operates with a 90% stake in one block and 70% in another. Endeavour, this French company owns Senegal's largest producing gold mine, the Sabodala-Massawa, which has been operational for over a decade. Managem, a Moroccan mining company, possesses mineral reserves of 31.5 million tons of ore grading 1.6 grams per ton gold, totaling 1,605,000 ounces. Unfortunately, Senegal's ownership in these resources is minimal, hindering the country from reaping significant benefits. This scenario is not unique to Senegal but prevails across many African nations. Corrupt politicians, in collaboration with external entities, have made it challenging for Africans to assert control over their resources. However, there is still hope. Emerging African-owned companies like Dangote and Oranto are operating in Senegal, providing competition against foreign entities. During Sall's presidency, Senegal experienced economic growth averaging nearly 5%, largely due to policies that favored international investors. Sall's ambitious economic plan, the $20 billion Emerging Senegal Plan, aimed to elevate Senegal to a middle-income status by 2035. This plan focused on infrastructure and tourism, leveraging revenue from oil and gas projects. Under his leadership, significant infrastructural projects were undertaken, including the construction of the Museum of Black Civilizations, a $1.2 billion high-speed rail, and a new $575 million international airport in Dakar. Additionally, efforts were made to improve electricity and healthcare access in rural areas. However, despite these initiatives, poverty levels remained high, and the benefits of economic growth were largely skewed towards foreign interests. This disparity led to discontent among the population, with many feeling marginalized and left behind. Furthermore, allegations of corruption tarnished Sall's administration, notably involving his brother, Aliou Sall, who resigned from office in 2019 amidst accusations of receiving bribes to secure licenses for offshore gas blocks. The failure to hold corrupt officials accountable eroded public trust in the government. Sall's presidency ends with a troubling legacy of high youth unemployment, a factor that played a role in his party's electoral loss. Shockingly, around half of Senegal's 17 million population live in poverty, as reported by the United Nations Development Agency. Moving forward, it is hoped that President Bassirou Diomaye Faye will prioritize combating corruption and ensuring that public officials are held accountable for their actions. Investigating and prosecuting cases of corruption, regardless of political affiliations, will be crucial in restoring faith in the government and promoting transparency and integrity in Senegal's leadership. Yet, the path forward is filled with obstacles. President Faye's rejection of the traditional ways and promises to the people have made foreign investors and financial markets uneasy. The recent ups and downs in Senegal's dollar bonds after President Faye's win highlight the worries about his plans for change. Striking a balance between asserting sovereignty and maintaining economic stability will demand President Faye's skillful diplomacy and smart decision-making. In the face of these difficulties, President Faye's firm resolve to rework current deals, like the EU fish agreement, shows his dedication to fixing long-standing issues in the fishing sector. By promoting sustainable fishing methods and standing up for the needs of local fishermen, President Faye hopes to correct past injustices and pave the way for a fairer future for Senegal's coastal towns and villages. The fishing industry in Senegal faces dire challenges, with dwindling fish stocks and the intrusion of foreign industrial boats exacerbating the situation. These boats, often from China and Europe, operate under contracts with the government, exporting fish out of Senegal and leaving local fishermen with depleted catches. However, amidst this turmoil, there is newfound hope with the election of President Bassirou Diomaye Faye. His victory, following a tumultuous political climate, signals a beacon of change for disenfranchised Senegalese fishermen. Under the previous administration of President Macky Sall, the exploitation of Senegal's fishing resources led to a sharp decline in fish stocks, driving up local fish prices and threatening the livelihoods of artisanal fishermen, who heavily rely on seafood for sustenance. President Faye aims to reverse this trajectory. He has pledged to protect the fishing zones exclusive to artisanal fishermen, moving them away from foreign vessels. Additionally, he plans to implement a national plan for the immersion and management of artificial reefs, aimed at restoring degraded marine habitats. Moreover, President Faye has committed to sustainable fishing practices, signing a charter alongside other candidates before the election. This charter includes measures to oversee stock management, conduct audits on fishing agreements with the European Union, and allocate a portion of oil and gas revenue to the fishing sector. Despite previous fishing agreements with the EU, which have been criticized for lacking transparency, President Faye seeks to renegotiate these deals to better serve Senegal's interests. He acknowledges the grievances of the Senegalese people and vows to prioritize their well-being over the interests of foreign companies. In essence, President Faye's election represents a pivotal moment for Senegal's fishing industry, offering a glimmer of hope for a more equitable and sustainable future. As President Faye embarks on his journey to lead Senegal forward, his commitment to integrity, fairness, and inclusive governance serves as a beacon of hope for the nation. With the collective efforts of its people, Senegal stands poised to realize its full potential under President Faye's visionary leadership, forging a path towards prosperity, equality, and unity for all. We want to hear your thoughts. Join the conversation and let your voice be heard. We want your input. Should President Faye maintain existing agreements with multinationals or push for renegotiation? Share your thoughts in the comments section below. And don't forget to subscribe to our channel, like this video, and share it with others. Thank you for watching.